right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nosebleed Seats once again. I'm Chris Lee. Thanks for joining me. First off, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. A lot of stuff out there on the internet you guys be watching. For you to take time to watch my show, I appreciate it, and thank you. Please welcome my guest at this time, Stephani King. Stephani, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you been?
Good, good. Thanks for coming over and hanging out with me. I know gas prices and everything's pretty high, so for you to come over here and hang out with me, I appreciate it. So how's things been going, man? How's New Midwest?
We're doing good. Just did a show last night, and that went over really well.
I know you guys are averaging about 175 fans or something like that,
Yeah, we fluctuate between 150 and 175, but
which
counting
is good,
the kids.
Not too many other independent promotions can say that at all, so that's great.
We have a lot of kids. That's where,
good.
That's
where
good. A lot of our fan base comes from, but you know, the kids can't come without the parents. So
right. I know my nephew's 13 and we go over there and watch it, and he absolutely loves it. Loves all the guys, loves all the characters. It's a great show. It's one of his favorites to go to, so that's always a plus. So how long have you been in wrestling now?
It will be 4 years next month. Well, wow. 4 years with New Midwest next month. Technically started in Peoria.
Right.
December of 03.
Okay, tell me about starting out.
Well,
she's gonna start picking her words. She's gonna start picking her words real choosy, so she don't make anybody mad.
I started off. I moved to Illinois from Florida in August of 03.
What the hell did you do that for?
Because I don't like mosquitoes the size of parrots.
All right.
And I don't like sweating when I get out of the shower. And the hurricanes.
Not too many hurricanes have hit. Anyways, too much
Hurricane
meteorologist
Charlie,
stuff.
Hurricane Wilma.
Okay, so you wanted to move to the middle of the nation for nothing, but whatever.
Well, the tornadoes.
Right.
I had to move for the tornadoes.
All right, whatever. If my wife wanted to move to Florida, I'd be like, all right, let's go. But she can't move that far away from her.
Don't do it.
All right, anyway, so you moved from Florida to Illinois. Go ahead.
And through some group of friends, I met a guy who did backyard wrestling and started getting involved with that group, and they had told me about a local group in Peoria, because that's where I lived at the time. And I went to the Peoria show, and I met Justin McIntyre outside and talked with him, exchanged numbers, and then went to a couple more shows before I had really decided to join NGW.
Right.
And then I started training with them. I went to a show in November and I started training in December.
Oh, okay. All right. So, what made you think you wanted to get into it? Obviously, going from a backyard to somebody actually setting up a ring, from the trampoline to the ring, I guess that could be the title of your book. From the trampoline to the ring.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty good, ain't it? Somebody's gonna steal that somewhere. Somebody's gonna steal that.
Nope, no one's allowed to steal that. That's mine. I've got
We'll
proof.
get that copyrighted. Anyways, what made you decide it was for you? That's what you want to do.
Well, the backyard. It was funny because it was all the friends there playing 6 characters apiece, and and it was just fun to go out and pretend to be somebody else, somebody I wasn't. And when I started going to NGW, and they had a higher caliber of talent there, I decided, it seemed like more fun to do it on that level. So that's when I decided to join up, and that way I could truly learn a little bit more about the business than what I was learning through backyard wrestling.
All right. Okay. So, what character was you playing when you first started out?
What, backyard? Or
no, in NGW.
Okay, the real stuff.
What was your 6 characters in backyard?
I only had one, and I was named Cherry.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you didn't stick around long enough for them to add 5 other ones.
No.
Okay. Well, what was Cherry all about?
Cherry was an ex-stripper.
Is it appropriate for like kids that might watch? I doubt it.
No.
Okay. All right. All right, so on the NGW, what was your first character in NGW?
My first character, I was a manager for Elmer, their masked hillbilly character, and my name was Charlotte.
What'd Charlotte wear?
Charlotte wore cut-off jean shorts. I made them myself.
Nice.
And
hey, people make millions of dollars making costumes for people.
Yeah, my mom actually sewed a pair of tights for Justin her first attempt at it, and the guys actually kind of liked it. And I was like,
Really?
well, hey, Mom, want some more business? My mom's like, I don't really know about that. I told her. But anyways, I digress. And then I had a plaid shirt that I tied, a red and white checkered shirt that I tied at the waist, and I had a little bit longer hair, and I wore it in braided pigtails, and put fake freckles on, and wore Elmer's hat occasionally.
Well, that's
And cowboy
some good
boots.
stuff. Hopefully, somebody can find some footage of that and put that up while she was talking about it. That'd be fantastic.
I'm
Crimey,
sure.
Crimey, as soon as you
I'm
heard that,
sure.
immediately started going through the video library to look for some old, what was the name of it?
NGW?
No, the
Oh.
character?
Charlotte.
Charlotte, sorry. Okay, so now, NGW, pretty much in your past. Now you decided to move on to New Midwest. What made you make the move to New Midwest?
Actually, some of the guys from NGW had started working down in Springfield, and Justin and I came and watched the show May of '04, and they had a really big crowd. The USA Sports Center was
Yeah,
a
it
really, really great venue. Man, I miss that building, and except for the inadequate parking. But
You mean the alley in the back?
the parking along the cornfield of the
Right,
2-lane
I
road, or down at the Invisible Fence place.
Right.
But yeah, and then we just, and Justin was looking for a place to go, and he wanted me to come along because he had the great idea of Stephani King documentarian.
Right.
So then we started training with them in May, and then made our debut in June.
Wow, good stuff. So let me ask you this. Obviously, we're talking about, everybody knows the way these companies are now, especially with your role with New Midwest and NGW in those days. What were some of the differences coming from the NGW to the New Midwest? Because obviously New Midwest has already built, their history and who they are, What's the difference between, coming out of that locker room and going into the New Midwest locker room?
There was, NGW ran weekly shows at the time, and so there was a lot of burnout. And there were guys that were just kind of sick of having to show up, because they trained on Friday nights, had a show on Saturday night, and trained on Sunday. And there was really a lot of burnout.
That actually sounds like a pretty good schedule for a wrestler, and people were getting burnt out on that?
Well, it was burnout for having to do a show every single Saturday night. They didn't have time to go anywhere else,
Right, okay.
or do anything else, and they couldn't grow.
Right.
But now that they've cut back to monthly shows, or I think every other week, they stepped down to every other week, and then monthly shows, and they've had time to experience other federations and different styles of wrestling and move around,
Right.
which has improved the talent greatly.
Right. So now the
But,
difference
and the guys weren't so burnt out. I mean, they trained three nights a week, but
Right.
they only had a show once a month. So if they wanted to go somewhere else, they typically could, as long as there was no scheduling conflict, and learn other things. And they were encouraged. I know a couple of the wrestlers were encouraged to go to Louisville to train, to do like the training camps that they had at OBW.
All right. All right. Okay. Well, good deal. So now, obviously, at this point, what you've done in wrestling. What's been some of your favorite moments so far that you've been able to accomplish for your own personal self?
When I got to strip in the ring.
That's always fun. That's always fun.
Shortly, let's see, June of '06, we had just bought the company. The previous owner had scheduled like a weekend. There was, in Springfield, they did Air Rendezvous. Actually, last year that they did Air Rendezvous,
Right.
but for funding reasons, I guess they couldn't continue to do it or something, but
I think you pissed everybody off.
Yeah, that too.
But go ahead.
But the previous owner had already scheduled that, and we decided to go ahead and honor that. And so we had the ring there, and it was like 3,000 degrees. And so
Really, that hot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like the sun was way cooler. And you so did not even know that was a joke.
I got you.
But so I was dressed appropriately for the weather.
Right.
And I had a mini skirt on. I wasn't really planning on being involved in the ring, but I had a stack of flyers and I'd set them down on the side of the ring during a match and they started blowing all over the ring. So I jumped in, I start grabbing all the flyers. Well, then Spencer Powers was wrestling Sage Ramsey, and I look up and I see these two big men come flying at me. So I do naturally just kind of dive through the ropes. I'm trying to be polite and hold my skirt down, but little did I know somebody actually saw some things. Yeah.
Right.
And the lady wrote into the State Journal Register complaining about complaining that Air Rendezvous didn't screen their entertainment well enough, never mind the jailbait cheerleaders that were in their mini skirts jumping around. But she wrote in saying that her husband and 7-year-old son had saw my thong, and I quote, "my thong-clad bare rear end."
I got $10 as her husband's the one that pointed it out. But anyways.
Yeah. Well, I know, and that's all it was some frumpy housewife whose husband looked just a little too long.
Right.
And so, and at first the letter kind of upset me, but because apparently they decided to talk about it on the radio.
Right. No such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah, that's what I was told. And then the more I thought about it, the more irritated I got that this woman, just her self-esteem is so low that she'd cut on me. And so then I decided to cut a promo in the ring, and I came out in a long white skirt all the way down to my ankles, and I had a pink turtleneck, long sleeve turtleneck shirt on, and Stan and I were kind of going back and forth about why I was wearing what I was wearing, and he made the point that it doesn't matter what these people think. I need to do whatever I want to do, and that's the way it is.
Right.
And totally agreed with him, so I decided to just pull off my skirt and my turtleneck in the ring, but I was prepared. I had on a plaid mini skirt and a vest on underneath it.
Right. Yeah, that kind of brings me to a good point. Something I talked about a little while ago. Boobs and buttocks in wrestling. Nice,
That's probably a way to
friendlier term.
The B&B.
Yeah, the B&B. There we go. We'll go with the B&B. The B&B. And women in wrestling. I mean, they're really overexposed. A lot of them, like we talked about, have gotten a lot better, and the matches seem to be getting quite a bit better. But what do you think about the way women are exposed in wrestling?
If you got it, flaunt it. But there's a difference between women wrestling and B&B women.
Right.
And if you're a B&B woman, just be a B&B woman. Don't try to be a female wrestler. It's not a negative thing to be B&B because you're there to get a story over.
Right.
You're there, you still serve a purpose. You're there to sell, the scantily clad women are what attracts men.
Right.
And that's what this business is aimed at, is men and small children. And more the male wrestlers for the small children, because they're the ones who aren't jaded by reality yet.
Right. My whole thing is, like I told you earlier, I look at wrestling completely different now that I got a son, and some of the stuff and this and that. I mean, I still enjoy it. I just don't let my son watch it per se all that much. But my whole thing is when people complain about how bad it is and how bad it sucks, I'm like, they're still on Raw in front of millions of people, and you perform in a gym.
Yeah.
Down the road in front of 25 people.
Yeah.
That's always my whole thing. I mean, there's a market for it. People like it. That's why it's out there. If they didn't like it, it wouldn't be out there. I don't watch it. I fast forward it or do whatever, or leave the room. But it's there, and it's going to be there.
Women really do serve a purpose, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. And there's a lot of men in the business that think women serve no purpose in wrestling, and they're just jokes.
There's been really good storylines that involved women in wrestling. Great ones that, without them, the storyline wouldn't have progressed and wouldn't have got better. People just they don't overlook that. They want to be pissed because Candice Michelle got the women's title a few weeks ago or something. They don't want women out there.
I'm a diehard Mickie James fan, so I love
her. That's nice. You should look at the porn pictures. I just got back from WrestleMania 24 myself, and just an amazing experience just to be there and to be a part of it.
6th row on the floor.
Wow, that's amazing.
And on TV side, so I'm on the DVD the whole time. I'm even there's even a shot of Justin on the cover.
Right.
So
wow,
we are immortal forever now. Actually, we were watching. I I like the show Heroes, and in last season there was a shot of the kids watching wrestling on TV, and it was that WrestleMania, and we were able to see ourselves on the TV on TV.
Well, I haven't watched the WrestleMania DVD, so I don't know if I doubt if I'm on that, but I am on Backlash from Chicago.
Okay.
With when Triple H and Austin were a tag team. It was one where Shane McMahon jumped off the top of the entrance railing. I'm right on that side, and at the opening of the DVD, when the camera's spanning across the crowd, I got a sign up that says Chris. Just like that, just like a big retard.
Well,
but it was a good time.
I had an inside joke sign. It said "No cash here," because Scotty Cash kept asking if he killed Justin if he could go.
Oh, that's not nice.
Yeah, I got a text message that said, I get it. And then on the other side, I had I kissed RKO because I got to meet Randy Orton, and I gave him a kiss on the cheek.
Pretty exciting, was it for you?
I love Randy. I love him very much. I've met him twice.
You said you were telling me one of your favorite moments is when he won the world title.
And became the youngest champion in WWE history. And that better not change. Except I don't. I do not like the peach tights. I do not like the peach tights. That's what he wore.
I didn't even know he was during that match.
Yes, at SummerSlam, August of 2004.
See, this is what I expected. This is what I expected when I was going to interview a woman. Was that you were going to immediately go, I want to talk about how good and like the finesse and the basics and how good it is, and all you want to talk about is the color of the tights.
They were god-awful tights.
All right.
They were terrible.
So now, since you had ownership in New Midwest, who's been some of your favorite wrestlers since you've been there?
Stan, of course.
Obviously, Stan. Great guy.
I love Stan. And
what's been some of the favorite stuff you done with Stan? What's been some of Stan's best feuds that you like?
Well, I really liked it when we had our security guards and we had Ikas and Eric Ruffington. Wow. Thinking of all kinds of different guys. And I really miss Matt Boston.
Actually,
it was nice having somebody my height.
Right. Let's go back because you've been around, and I don't mean to bring it up, but like I said, I want to talk about some of the best wrestlers. Ruffington really has come so far in his wrestling ability from where he's at, and I mean,
I was there when he started.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've been able to watch that and see that grow. I mean, what do you think it takes for somebody like Ruffington to do that? One, he's got to mature, which took a while, that was my one shot just for saying all the bad stuff, or it's the good stuff that I'm getting ready to say. But I mean, what do you think that it takes for somebody like that? I mean, he from where he went, just as pretty much. I mean, just as your guys' lackey to now. I mean, he's all over Central Illinois, winning titles and all kinds of stuff. I mean,
he's come so far, and his microphone work has improved so much.
Won NBS award for best microphone skills.
Yeah, and I remember when he was first talking on the microphone, it was awful. But he is, and he's a character. That's what you have to be, is a character.
Right.
You can't just be some guy.
I like Ruffington just because one, how serious he takes it, and how. He treats it like a business, and I think that's the difference from who he was to what kind of person he is now, and that really shows in his thing. So, I mean, that's good. That's just one of the many stories from New Midwest that has been able to shine under your guys' regime and in New Midwest. So and I think that's the best thing is that these guys can start out there, and you guys give them opportunity to develop themselves and to where they're at. That's one thing I've always liked about
We encourage them when, as long as scheduling isn't conflicting, to go other places, learn new things. We don't want them staying in one area. We want them to go and make a name for themselves because it makes us look better.
All right. So now, speaking of New Midwest, you guys come down from NGW and you start working New Midwest pretty much full time. That becomes your home. The opportunity arises for you to buy New Midwest. What makes you want to do that?
For us, it was we changed our entire lives for New Midwest. We left. Our entire family lives in Peoria. We moved to Springfield March of '05, and that was a challenge because when we moved, we had nothing. We had almost no money. I had a job working as a waitress. He, picked up a job at the Subway there. And we spent our first month in Springfield in a really bad area.
All right.
A really bad, like, weekly rate motel type thing until we were able to get enough money to actually rent a house in Springfield.
Right.
But, we gave up a lot to be New Midwest. And when we had the opportunity to buy it, to keep it from falling into dangerous ways and bad hands. You laugh, I'm serious. We felt the need to rescue New Midwest from the possible dangers it was going to encounter.
There goes the dust. Go ahead. Okay. All right.
It's true. We jumped at the opportunity. Well, originally we were supposed to. Oh, that was some drama I didn't get a chance to tell you about. We were supposed to buy New Midwest shortly after moving to the area, and then some drama went down with the 3 owners before us, and the wrestlers got together and forced him to sign over the company to another couple who ran it for a year, and then they had to sell it for family reasons, and then somebody else had it for about a month, and then that's when it came into our hands.
Wow. All kinds of good stuff. So what's being a woman, because I think you're the only woman owner of any independent company I can think of. What's it like being in that position as a woman?
I don't give no respect.
None at all?
None. The guys love me.
Right.
Because I'm Stephanie and I've been around for a while, but honestly, I think as an owner, I don't get any respect.
Do you get no say in anything, or
I really feel like I get no say. I feel like I'm there to sign checks.
Wow.
And when Justin Short, some of the outside guys, they come to me about it, but they're like, "Hey, I'm missing $5." I'm like, "You get paid more than $5?" No, I'm kidding. But
so let me ask you this. I thought hard, and you and Justin have both told me, you guys everybody could have worked a lot harder to make New Midwest a much better promotion, last year. And but I still felt talent-wise, you guys have the best talent, and that's what's important, especially in an area like this. From top to bottom, New Midwest has the best talent pool at any promotion. But with that said, NGW, you okay?
I've got bronchitis. Sorry.
Oh, well, that's good to know. NGW really has picked up their game just over the past few months. Obviously, Dingo is officially pretty much on their roster. They may not say it, but he is. And just a whole slew of other talent that is now pretty much on that roster. Tony Recon.
Including most of mine.
Or Tony Recon, sorry.
The Recon.
A lot of New Midwest talent up there also. They're really knocking on New Midwest's door as far as promotion quality, if not already there, honestly, over the past few months. And attendance keeps going up, and hopefully one day they're going to be at that 150, 175 mark. If they keep going the way they are, I don't see how they couldn't be.
Yeah.
And New Breed out of Danville, which I'm sure you probably don't know too much about, but other than
wrestling in Danville?
Other than chanting at your shows or anything like that. But
okay, those guys.
Yeah, those guys. But obviously, they're holding a lot better shows. Talent keeps getting better. Shows continue to get better, and crowds continue to get better over there.
They do.
And then there's a whole slew of other people out there that continue or trying to improve. What's it going to take for you and the rest of New Midwest to stay on top of that mountain? There's a lot of people trying to knock you guys off, and they're damn willing going to try. What's it take for you to keep that top
Well,
position?
I really don't feel that NGW is trying to knock us down. I actually think they're just trying to be, and I really think this is, I don't want to be saying I'm talking down about them, but they're really trying to step up to our level and just maintain our level and kind of give us a little bit of a challenge, but we're so far apart that we really can't affect each other too much, and we are really trying to have a really good working relationship. But the one thing, we've got the talent, all right? Now, we've got the good talent, and our talent needs to keep getting better and keep improving, but it's really about the match equation. Right. You know, you can't just throw two guys together and expect it to be gold. You have to figure out what the fans like and try and find new things for them to like and keep it interesting. They don't want to see the same matches over and over and over and over. Right. You know, that's why Eric Logan's no longer fighting Spencer Powers after 5 years.
All right. Well, I enjoy Spencer Powers and Eric Logan all day long. I could watch it. But anyways.
Well, you know, it's like having too much ice cream. You can have too much of a good thing.
You can?
Yeah.
You can have too much ice cream too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Freezes your brain.
I mean, what else? Match equation.
Match equation. That's running your shows on time.
Right.
You know, we pride ourselves on the fact that we can have a show over by 9:30. 10 o'clock is pushing it. I'm not a late night person. Right. My baby doesn't allow me to be a late night person. So she's like dying. Her bedtime's 8:30, 9 o'clock. So, you know, I'm looking at Justin going,
right.
Time for someone to go to bed. Come on.
Right.
He's like, you can leave. I'm like, no, I have one fan. I have one fan, and she comes to this shows in her pink, and she loves me, and I'm not leaving until I get to say hi to her at the end of every show.
All right, so what's the future hold for Stephani King? I mean, right now, obviously you just came back from, you know, how is the baby anyways? We didn't even bring up the baby.
She just turned a year old.
Wow.
Yeah, she's ornery.
Yeah, and gonna be walking pretty soon.
She walks when I'm not in the room.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So she only walks for Justin? Pretty
much Justin and the babysitters.
Oh, wow. That's nice. My son's only good for the babysitter too, so don't feel bad.
Oh yeah, she takes like 2-hour naps with the babysitter, sleeps till like 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, on the weekends up at 6:30.
That's how all kids are. You're gonna use that.
I just tell myself she's excited I'm home.
All right, there you go. All right, so New Midwest, June 21st, Revolution. All right, make sure you guys check out that, newmidwest.com. Be there if you were in Springfield.
Hell,
make sure
if you're not in Springfield, be there anyways.
Exactly.
Ain't nothing else going on.
When are you guys gonna get a new building?
We're desperately looking. Granted, the owner of the American Center has been very accommodating.
Right.
You know, we haven't had to sign a contract with him. You know, he's just tells us to let it. You know, we have to give him enough notice for the dates so he doesn't book everything else there. But
and you guys are drawing huge crowds too. I mean, 175. You know, 150, 175. This is great.
Yeah, there was one show last year, November Rain. We had such a big crowd. He ran out of concessions.
Wow.
He ran out of food.
I was at that show. It was a great show. Great main event. Spotlight versus Guy Smith. It's fantastic.
That's always another good match there too.
Yeah. Spotlight retained. New Midwest Championship, obviously. So that was a fantastic match. June 21st, Revolution. NewMidwest.com. You want to check out more information on that. Make sure you guys check it out. But Stephani King, once again, thank you for coming over and hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And we stretched it out to about 40 minutes. And you said it was only going to last like 15.
Sweet.
How awesome is that?
Awesome.
All right. June 21st, Revolution. NewMidwest.com. Make sure you guys check it out. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
The Nosebleed Seats is filmed before a live studio audience.
Yay!